is Frightfully Brilliant. Thanks for joining us tonight. And boy, do we have the show for you. We're going to be talking about the Ouija board and the truth behind Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and so much more. But before we get into it, let me introduce the most important thing to you. And here they are. First, we have the star of the show, Slappy. Hey, all right. And Morticia.
Hi.
And Gomez. And then last, and definitely least, we have Charlotte. Yes. We've got a great show for you because it's Frightfully Brilliant. And now, Morticia has a very important call.
Yes, Uncle Infested. We'll see what we can do. I'll talk to Gomez, we'll brainstorm, and I'll call you back. All right, bye-bye. Uncle Infested has done it again. He's gotten himself in quite a pickle, Gomez.
Oh, what happened?
Well, it started last night. He went on his usual walk to the store, got what he needed, came home. He said the neighborhood was peaceful, everything was serene, nothing was out of place. He and Aunt Tabitha got up this morning to take their breakfast picnic to the cemetery, as they're wont to do. And Tabitha went to put the picnic basket in the car, and you'll never guess what she found, Gomez.
Blood?
No blood, Gomez. She found the car had been stolen.
That's horrible.
Yes, she asked all the neighbors if they had noticed anything odd in the neighborhood, like, someone stealing their car, for example. But nothing was amiss. No one noticed anything. No one's pets reacted as though they would to a stranger, so it was quite a mystery. And Tabitha could not imagine who could slide in and out unseen like a ghost and steal their car, except, well, exactly that, a ghost.
That makes good sense.
Yes. So she was finally excited about having some paranormal activity. Apparently she envies all of ours for some reason, so she was happy she had her own. But Uncle Infested called the police and made a report about the stolen car. Then he realized that he had forgotten milk at the store. So he walked to the store to get the milk, and what do you think he found, Gomez?
Blood?
No, Gomez, he didn't find blood, but he did find his car. And that's when he remembered. You see, it's dangerous being a creature of habit, Gomez, because when you do something different, sometimes you forget when you're so accustomed to doing one thing. You see, last night, apparently it had been raining when Uncle Infested went to the store, so he took the car. But by the time he finished shopping and left, it had stopped raining. So, as usual, he walked home, forgetting that he had taken the car, and he didn't remember it until he saw it at the store again today. So he called the police and told them, never mind. And he doesn't want to tell Aunt Tabitha, though. He doesn't want to break her little black heart by saying there was no paranormal activity and that he was his own ghost and stole his own car. So he was hoping we would have some advice for him. So, do we?
Well, we might. It should be simple. Let's see. If we say that a ghost possessed him, he could tell Tabitha then that it was still a ghost who took the car and then abandoned it.
What a brilliant idea, Gomez. But wait. I mean, if someone were possessed by a ghost, wouldn't they remember it?
Of course not. Nobody ever remembers being possessed by a ghost.
Oh, what a relief. Well, I'll call him and tell him right now. I'm sure he'll love that solution.
Good. And that was Frightfully Brilliant. And now to our fashion reviews.
Everyone's always asking us, where did you get those clothes? So we're here to tell you today. We're doing vintage Gothic today, and Gomez got his suit from a place in Grants Pass, Oregon called The Shaft. Like a long tunnel, which is kind of how the store is shaped, so it's called The Shaft. It's awesome because it has all kinds of vintage items from the 30s and even Victorian times. Gomez got an extremely good deal on it.
A zoot suit?
A zoot
Really?
suit.
Yes.
This is real, yeah. It's a zoot
Whoa!
suit. Look at this guy. He's
Wow.
a man, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It comes down and the tail's in the
He's
back.
got a
yeah.
zoot suit. Turn around, look pretty.
Yeah, look at that.
Ta-da!
He's too sexy for his suit.
Can I ask how much that cost?
It was a little over 100.
A little over
But
100?
it's
That's
from
not
the
bad.
1940s. It's authentic.
that's
Brilliant. And the shirt came from Walmart. You guys, they actually have dress shirts at Walmart, $15. I almost overlook places like Walmart when I
Yeah.
need something, but it's there. And my shoes actually came from the Shaft. These are my little saddle shoes from the 50s. And they also have
Your
little...
shoes, yeah.
Yeah, they have cat eye sunglasses there too. I have some. I just wore my bats today because I'm so batty. But they have the little cat eye sunglasses at the Shaft for $5. They have little rhinestones in the corners. These actually are not from there. These are from Elope and Magic Man, also in Grants
Morticia,
Pass.
I want to see if we can get the camera guy to go down on your shoes there.
That sounds kinky.
Can we do that? Yeah, there they are.
Now my actual, these were $20 new from the Shaft. Their prices are so amazing, you guys, and I love the authentic clothing. I got my socks at Walmart.
You got
along
those
with-
for $20?
Yes, I'm telling you, the Shaft is amazing.
Where's the shop?
It's in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Really?
Yes.
It's 210 Northeast 6th Street.
Yeah, check them out, you guys.
Whoa.
And my dress actually came from eBay for $20. It was China, so when you guys order from China, even if you're a medium like me, get XXL and it will actually fit you. But this is a 50s dress, but I didn't want the pink because, you know, I can't wear pink.
Right.
So I got black and white. It's adorable. I'm going to use it for my Back to the 50s thing when we do they have 50s week in Grants Pass in July. So we're going to do it. Purple People Eater. It's going to be awesome.
Are you
Gomez
going
is
to
going
dress
to
just like you are right now?
Yeah, and Gomez is going to wear a purple hat with a horn. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be my Purple People Eater.
You know, we've been thinking about going down and filming that.
Yes, you
because
should.
you see how they're dressed? They're always in dress. when
Everything
they
is
go
like
out.
that the whole week in Grants Pass.
They're amazing.
So this dress came from a store on eBay. It was also $20. It's amazing. It fits great. It's called, what's the store called, darling?
Baby 24H online dress.
Baby 24H online dress on eBay. That sounds crazy, but that's the name of the store. And my jewelry, this is a bat with a purple stone. It's called Night Whisper from Restyle. They're a Polish company, and I love that they can do spooky and dressy at the same time. And this bleeding heart and thorns, so romantic, came from a lovely company called realmetaljewelry.com.
A bleeding heart
With thorns. It's got thorns wrapped around
Oh,
it.
really?
A blood drop. It's a bleeding heart. Isn't that
Whoa,
unique?
that is nice.
$10.
Really?
I know how to shop for less and still look amazing. Yes, yes. And
And I also have my glasses over here.
yes, his sunglasses came from the Shaft. Those are steampunk Victorian goggles. And those were about $15 from the Shaft. So you can dress amazingly and still shop locally. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love steampunk.
It's fun.
Anything goes.
And that was Frightfully Brilliant.
And welcome back. We are we are going to talk about reviews, fiction, and what are we going to review this episode?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
Of
Hyde.
course, you know, I've already said that. But not just Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is going to be the truth
Yes,
about.
the truth about. Dr.
Dr.
Jekyll,
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
is my best friend, so I remember this. He's my hero.
He's your hero.
Yeah, because they say
Why?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but that's where they're wrong because it's the same guy. That's
Wait,
the
yeah,
big
but he
secret.
morphs, right?
Well, sort of. He takes a potion to
Wait
change.
a minute. Could we run our version of the original Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie?
Silent film. It's
Silent
beautiful.
film from 1920. Do we have that? Can we run it? the 1920 version of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
John Barrymore was
based
our
on the
favorite, wasn't
book.
he?
But you've been telling me it's not
It's
so
not
much based on the book.
No, the book
so
is so much
what's the
different.
difference?
Well, the difference is a lot of people that even read the book didn't understand it. They
Really?
thought it was reflecting multiple personalities or anything. They must have slept through chapter 10, which is Dr. Jekyll's perspective. Dr. Jekyll is
Chapter
explaining.
10 is the key.
Yes, that's the one you need.
All right.
He basically is saying, you know, a lot of the movies kind of portray this good, gentle doctor, and then he takes a potion and becomes an evil madman, right?
Ah,
That's
yeah.
what- yeah. No.
They're all like that, aren't they?
Yes, but this isn't the case. What
All right.
happened was Dr. Jekyll was a man who was like any other man. He has desires and he has guilt and he has things he doesn't feel right about doing.
Just like all of us.
Yes, and he
Yeah.
waits until, because of Victorian society being what it was, which is very suppressed. You couldn't even
Yeah.
show PDA in public, you know. It was
Yeah.
just very, anything that you would
couldn't kiss
consider.
in public?
No, anything
No
you would
PDA?
consider just a regular bachelor's night on the town where you go out with your boys and you're like, man, we were wild last night. That would totally destroy someone's reputation back then, like totally. So he just was a guy who wanted to do guy stuff, and he felt very suppressed because he couldn't, and then he would feel guilty from parental teachings and all this. And so basically,
So was he like in a very strict
yes,
home?
and he felt wrong about anything he wanted to do, so he thought, if I want to do this,
Lot of guilt.
so he thought, okay, I'll make a potion that will make me look different, then I can go out and do what I want without feeling bad, then I'll take another potion and change
so-
back into me and my beautiful doctor reputation.
So the potion was to change him, not so that he could become something else that he's not aware of,
Right,
or to be
so
an
that he
evil
can
creature,
be what he
but
is.
so that he would be masked, as it were,
Right,
from
and he
it
can do
being,
what
from
he
being
wants.
identified, so he could go out and do what he wanted.
Yeah, without
Yeah.
feeling guilty even himself. And then the potion kind of enhanced his feelings of wanting to be bad, which he wanted to do that. He wanted to be able to feel what he wanted without feeling guilty.
So like a little elixir.
Yeah,
quality
and
to
then
it.
it just
Yeah.
enhances who he is. And then he goes, you know, then I'll just drink it again, turn back into me, and my reputation's, you know, untarnished because good Dr. Jekyll didn't do that.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, I always thought Dr. Jekyll sounded like the evil name, and Mr. Hyde sounded kind of harmless.
I've thought about that.
And then when I
Gomez,
read the
did you
book-
think about that?
Yeah, I did.
When I read the book, I went, oh, I get it, because he was the same guy, and so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gomez?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the Jekyll even has that kill part in it. It's like that associative logic type of thing. That
And it makes sense because he was the guy who wanted to do the bad things.
Yeah.
He just threw a hide over himself with the transformation
Oh,
so that he
Dr.
could go
Jekyll,
do it.
Mr. Hyde.
Right.
So Hyde is the idea.
Right.
Whoa, I get it. So that was when Dr. Jekyll decided to hide his identity to go out and
Yeah.
break all the taboos of
And
the Victorian era.
the movie threw romance in there, and that's not true. He didn't have a fiance or a girlfriend or anything. He was just
boy,
a
that
fancy
takes
free
away all the
bachelor.
joy of reading the book. No romance? Oh, no.
Well, there's killing.
What?
There's killing. There's killing.
There's killing.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
right.
blood.
Maybe-
Gomez, you get your blood in
Oh
there.
yeah, finally. But I'm thinking maybe there was a sort of a romance, if you want to look at it in a sort of abstract way, where he is having this relationship with himself. He gets to find out who him is. When you think about it, it's
He thought he was
So that's a
beautiful
great
when he
thought.
changed.
That is
Yeah.
a great thought. So he's having this relationship between him and himself.
Yeah.
And the joy of life, because he finally gets to experience life through this potion.
Didn't Jim Carrey do a movie once about I, me, and myself or something?
I try not to watch Jim
That's
Carrey.
I forget. But anyway.
You know, the Jekyll taught me a lot, though. He's like a role model because he teaches not to go with shoulds. Because if you think I should do it and you don't want to do it, then it's just something you shouldn't be doing, maybe.
Oh, wow.
We all give
Say
ourselves-
that again. Say that again.
Well, you give ourselves good reasons of why I should do this and should do that, but if you really don't want to, it's never really going to work out well, and you're telling yourself deep inside, this is wrong for me, so don't do it if you should do it. If you really do want to do it, you don't have to tell yourself you should, you know?
Right.
So when you tell yourself you should, don't, because it means you already don't want to. And Jekyll shows us what happens when you force yourself and bottle and force yourself into a life you don't want. It's got so much, because in Victorian times they didn't have psychology, so he even thought he was dividing himself, and he didn't understand why part of him wanted something and part of him didn't, and you know, it's just your conflicted mind with your consequences and your reasonings, right, Gomez?
Yes, that's a very good point. And I think there was part of the reasoning behind the book where the logic represented by the doctor was battling against the emotion represented by his supposed counterpart. where in actuality they're supposed to work together. It was the product of Victorian society that made this big difference, big gap that makes things go wrong, because the emotion not realizing, it's basically sinking into this gap symbolically instead of going out the way it's supposed to naturally, according to natural developments.
There's a really good YouTube channel called Being British, and they do a lot of British-American comparisons. They're really funny, like Gomez and I. But they mention how in the UK they're still bottling, and they still don't get comfortable with emotion. And I'm thinking, okay, everybody from the UK, if you're watching, read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and you'll realize why that's not a good idea.
You'll be liberated.
Yes.
Liberation
It's
in
like-
a horror classic.
I think there is like a balance between social needs and the needs of the individual.
Yeah.
Victorian society remains stable, and that's just fine, but the individual as a result gets suppressed.
Yeah.
And it's good for the well-being of society, but there has to be a balance where the interests of the individual are more met, the way it is in a sense in the US here. And I think it is a better climate here. The Brits do suppress themselves more. They look more efficient, they look fashionable, they have their thing definitely.
Yeah.
But I think...
Hey, we look fashionable. Look at us.
Yes, but so we have it all basically. We have the best of both worlds. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the Brits, they may have been really even more uptight until the Beatles came along, perhaps. And maybe that began,
Shake it up, baby.
yeah, like Shake It Up, Baby, Twist and Shout. Maybe that was the beginning of their morphosis.
Dr. Jekyll just needed to listen to the Beatles, that's all.
Nice.
I think he likes AC/DC more, though.
AC/DC more?
Yeah, more than the Beatles.
More than the Beatles?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it is more liberating when you think about it.
Wow. Yeah, we have some really creepy news. And I think maybe we should get into it because...
Frightfully Brilliant.
And we are back. And in this segment, creepy news.
Creepy news. This was creepy. You know,
Yeah.
it's mainly about the fact that we all think animals can sort of see into the beyond more than we can, and that's not really always true. Animals are like us, and in my experience I've discovered, and I want to share a little bit about that with a creepy story that's true, but in my experience I've seen that animals are like us, you know, they're souls in a body just like we are, and some of them have talents and abilities and some don't. So just because they're an animal doesn't mean they always see stuff we don't. And this whole story started with a Ouija board, which I think the Ouija board should be a whole different show topic. We could do a whole different episode on that.
And probably will.
We
Wait a
will.
minute, let me get this straight. So through the Ouija board,
No, I had roommates.
You had
and
roommates.
I was out with friends. I walked in. I had a social life at that time.
and somehow
These
that
roommates
led
are
you
using-
to knowing that
sort of.
animals have
The roommates
a
are
spirit.
using a Ouija board, so I'm going, let's stop. Don't do that. Don't do that in my house. No Ouija boards, because I've had bad experiences, so put it away. And they
And you'll
did.
tell us about those on another
Yes,
show.
they were good roommates. They put it away. Ouija board is only plastic and cardboard. It's just a thing, but it's what you do with it. And again,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother show. But they put the Ouija board away. That was fine. Everything was great until the next day. And then notice these things happen when you're home alone instead
Yeah.
of when you're in a big room full of people to comfort
right.
you. Like, why is it that you're home alone when all the crap hits the fan? Why?
Murphy's Law, right?
I
It
know.
can happen,
So
it will
I'm
happen.
home alone with two birds. My bird, Calcifer, and my brother's bird, Ivan, my brother Steven's bird, Ivan. I was babysitting him. He named the sweetest bird in the world after Ivan the Terrible. I don't know why, but he did. He was so nice. You could put your finger in his mouth, he wouldn't bite you. But he was named after, I'm babysitting these birds. I'm putting a laundry away in my room, and this stick of wood broke off of my dresser drawer. That was not paranormal. The stick was getting loose anyway. But this long stick of wood breaks off, and I got laundry in my hands, so I'm just like, I'll put it away later. So I throw it in the floor because it's in my way. I'm about to throw it away after I put away the clothes. One thing at a time, right?
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Yeah, so I'm putting away clothes, and there's a sound. Flip, 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 like this. And the stick is just, you can hear it flipping end over end over end on the floor by itself. And I'm going, oh, heck no. This is not cool. And I grew up in a haunted house, but this was more prolonged movement of an object than I'd ever seen the ghost do in the house I grew up in. And I'm thinking, darn it, this is because these people used that Ouija board yesterday, and now there's crap going on. This is not okay, and I'm mad. And I'm thinking, treat a ghost like you would a dog. Show it fear and you're screwed. So I was going to reach down and throw this, just snatch the stick up and throw it away to take the toy away from the ghost, as it were, right? Well, as soon as I reached down, my brother's bird, Ivan, went ballistic. He started hurling himself against the cage, freaking out. I straightened up and jumped up on the bed, and he calmed down. I got away from the stick, and he settled down right away. And I'm thinking, well, the brave girl act didn't work. I'm going to be terrified instead. I'm going to cower and freak out. And I thought, well, what if I misunderstood Ivan? So I moved toward the edge of the bed because I was going to get down and again try to throw the stick away. Ivan went ballistic. I moved back toward the center of the bed, away from it. He calms down. We did this 3 or 4 times so that me and the bird could make sure we were understanding each other. And I said, okay, because I'm kind of skeptical, and I'm like Spock, really, even though I've had a lot of paranormal things happen. I don't just believe everything, or I don't try to see paranormal in everything, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
No, you
So-
are basically a skeptical person.
Yeah, and so I thought, is this really what he's doing? Is he really freaking out if I try to get down there? But he was, every time. This is like 4 times in a row. So I decided to stop before the bird hurt himself, and I'm staying on the center of the bed. Everything's cool. I call the roommate. I said, get home because stuff is happening. Because of you, it is not cool. I'm upset. I'm by myself. The birds are freaking out. So, you know, the roommate's trying to get off work, and I'll get home as soon as I can. Like, yeah, you better. You tell him what you got to tell him to get out of there. So 15 minutes, the stick is flipping. It finally stops. So I think, okay, it's over. I try to get down. Ivan does not want me down again, even though it stopped moving. 5 minutes later, long story short, he finally let me get down off the bed and throw the stick away. But he saw something that really, that he must have seen, is what scared me, that he is that scared of it. What the heck does it look like?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on that he's seeing? But my bird did not react. My bird did not do anything. My bird did not see anything because he didn't do anything. And my bird loves me. Like,
So one bird was kind of
yes,
tuned in,
yeah,
and
the other one is
wasn't.
not. And my bird loves me. Like if he knew I didn't like you, he would get out and try to dive bomb you, even though he's fat and lazy. Like, he loves me. So it's not that he didn't care if the ghost was a danger. He just really didn't see it. And my bird actually could tell when people were cray-cray, because if he got real quiet and still around somebody, every time he did that to anybody, we would discover later they were cray-cray. So it wasn't that he wasn't perceptive in other ways, but he obviously could not see what Ivan was seeing that day. So, and like I said, that just really opened my eyes. Like, well, he didn't see it. Why didn't you? I was joking later, like, he didn't even care enough to protect me. But I thought, well, he couldn't see it because he didn't react at all.
Right.
And Ivan several times would calm down when I backed up and did not want me down there. And I thanked him. I was very appreciative. Like, really, that was sweet, and thank you, whatever that was. He went out of his way, literally and physically, to keep me from going down there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need people around you that.
Yeah,
have
especially
your
because the
best
people that
interest
did
in
it were not there that brought it on. So, but the Ouija board, that happened the day before. So I'm thinking, what were they talking to that they called up that did this in my house? And I don't even know what it was, but Ivan really didn't like the look of it. So I don't see ghosts, so obviously I didn't know. Me and my bird do not know, but Ivan definitely could see something. And Gomez, you brought up a question about cats that I liked.
Yes, I was wondering if...
Cats.
how are they different than birds? Are they supposed to be more special, seemingly? So do you
You
think...
mean like because they're witches familiars?
Yeah.
Do you think
Well,
they can see
definitely
ghosts
don't have a
more?
bird brain.
No. Well, birds are even smarter. Birds are actually literally smarter than cats. But Gomez was wondering to me
Cats,
before if
yeah.
they could see, do you think cats can see ghosts better than birds? I don't know.
Well, I know dogs are spiritual. You know what you get if you spell dog backwards?
Slappy's going to- But I think all animals, even cats, are probably just like people. Some got it and some don't. Some
Yeah.
can see and some can't. But I just thought it was an interesting topic because people, just assume animals can see more into the spirit realm, and it's like, well, they're just like us. Some can, some can't.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Well, I can't wait till you conquer the Ouija board.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Is it Ouija board or Ouija, or do they both work?
Ouija, isn't it?
Ouija?
It should be Ouija theoretically.
Ouija.
Because it's not spelled with an I on the end.
You see,
Ouija
the
board.
theory is that it combines 2 words for yes, oui in French and ja in German, which also both mean yes. So it's supposedly
Because of
the...
the yes/no things on
Yeah.
the board.
Yeah. They have the yes and the no down at the bottom.
Gomez, you know
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
exciting things.
Oh, cara mia.
Mon cher.
Oh,
He just knows such, his mind is so titillating.
oh, so is yours, Morticia, darling.
Oh, we're having a romantic moment on camera. We need to get Slappy a girlfriend.
Well, this has been a wonderful show, and I can't wait till we come back
Thank
again.
you guys for watching.
Yes. And, we got some great topics coming up in the next show, don't we?
Yes.
My gosh, including the tarot cards.
Yeah.
Tarot that you don't even know it exists.
Yeah, and the different kinds.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
And
So
a chicken.
thank you for joining us. I'm David Morticia Gomez, and it's been frightfully brilliant.
Ooh,